Hello, everyone. Christ has risen. Christ has risen indeed. Christ built a church that is the Catholic Church in 33 AD. Have we got a show for you? Thank you for joining us on this Theological Thunderous Thursdays. It's my first Thursday in a while. I will be honest with you. I did miss the last two times. Let's not talk about why, but we're here today to discuss a crazy, super old, super mysterious, very curious video that we can study and see what type of symbolism the evildoers are using, and their kind of predictive programming, just so that we can be aware of what's coming in the future. And when it does come down the train, it's not our first initial response to this information, and we don't respond with fear. We have some knowledge of what's actually happening. That is their downfall, is that they have to tell us their plan. And they think that by telling us their plan, they'll be free from any ramifications, any karmic effects. Okay, so they have these symbolistic ways of describing how they're going to take over the world. Yes, okay, so my name is Anthony Acosta. Again, if you're joining us here on the Full Sheen Ahead YouTube channel, if you don't know, every Thursday we do an evening live stream, and we are continuing to grow this family, so make sure you're participating in the live chat. Especially today, I'm going to need as many people as possible helping to decode this video, I Pet Goat. I know none of you have ever heard of it, but this is a huge video in the truth community. So many people have dissected this, so many people have analyzed this, and I'm going to try my best to give a Catholic Christian take on it, a biblical take on this. Let's just get into it, because I want to play it once at least, so that you can watch it all the way through without me saying anything. It's 7 minutes long, so perhaps we'll just go play by play. Let's go a little bit here. Automatically, right off the bat, I never noticed this right here with this guy on a leash. I meant to start off by reading this. This will sum up the beginning of the video. This will sum up the entire video. This will sum up our entire lives. Okay. Right before this, he's talking about talents and how we should be using our talents, and those with many talents will be rewarded. Okay. And not to waste your talent. Do not waste your talents. When the Son of Man comes in his glory. This is Matthew 25, verse 31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate people from another, as a shepherd separates sheep from goats. And he will put the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you are blessed by the Father, and inherit the kingdom. Prepare for you the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. And I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothes. And I was sick, and you took care of me." We've all heard this, right? Let's go. This is I Pet Goat. Let's see when this came out. 11 years ago. 8.7 million people have seen this. How have you not seen this? Let's go. This is a crazy video. The artist, or the animator, went on InfoWars, Alex Jones, and he was describing how some of these images came to him. This story doesn't really make any sense when you watch this video. Maybe we should watch it all the way through. Okay, I'm trying to decide for myself. Let me know if you want to watch it all the way through. Let's just press play, and boom, immediately goats. That's why I read Matthew 25, because the goat is coming out. We see this little dog on a leash and control, and what you're not noticing is this barbed wire where you're in a control, and it looks like there's multiple stalls for the goats. And you know it's a control because what's that on the forehead? A mark of the beast. Okay, that's the barcode, and again, it's a domesticated goat. It's trapped, it's in prison. That's what we're going through. And the goat quickly changes into something. It doesn't look like the goats know what's going on. And then we're immediately transitioning into these hands, puppet hands, and they're look like evil. Definitely not good looking hands. I would say if it was a, well, there's a money symbol there. Money is the root of all evil. And of course, what is this? He's controlling President Bush. So 11 years ago, Bush was already president. And this is where it starts to already, we're thrown into a bunch of symbolism here. If you don't know already by now as Catholics, guess what? Checkered is not a good symbol. Checkered is what is used in Freemasonry. Let me see. Can you see this? Freemasons, checkered. Freemasons use checkered all the time. Why? Because they have this weird obsession with duality, that there is good and bad and good, yin and yang. Whereas for us, we are always trying to reach the ultimate good. We are trying to, we don't want any bad in nothing. There's no means to an end, okay? There is only the end. And if the end is, if getting to that end is bad, then maybe you should not go there, okay? We cannot correspond with evil. Duality is right there in front of us. George Bush here, obviously it's George Bush. This is that scene from before the day of September 11th, 2001. He was in that classroom where the children were reading to him, and this is kind of a reimagining of that scene. Let's dive deeper into the symbolism in the background. Are you noticing the background? So he's doing his little dancey dance because that's who George Bush was, just an actor. Immediately, right here, there's an owl symbolism. We know that is occultic in a sense because Bohemian Grove has a big statue of an owl. This is 9/11 for sure. But these other dots, unaware of what these mean. 6-pointed star, the Star of David, or the Star of Rehilm, the Star of Rehilm. Bear with me, people, because there is just so much going on. Have you heard of the Star of Rephaim? Have you heard of this? How do I'm trying to share my screen here. More than one screen. Let's see. Let's remove. Share screen. Okay, hold on. You're going to want to see this. Trust me. The Star of Rephaim. Rephaim. I don't even know. Okay, let's go. Have you seen this? Does this look like the Star of David to you? To me, it does. Especially this one. This is a satanic symbol. Okay? Candace Owens covers this. Just watch out for that. This phallic symbol, everything in Freemasonry, the phallic symbols. Let me show you Freemasons checkboard. Boom. Like, it's all over the place. It's all in their lodges, checkboards. It has something to do with the third temple, for sure. Did you know that Freemasons are also trying to build the third temple of Solomon? Yeah, that's a thing. What else? Freemasons, phallic. This is weird. Symbol, obelisk. Please ignore my spelling. Okay, they're phallic symbols. They're not obelisks. We put a Catholic cross on them when we conquer them. That's just what Catholics do. We take over pagan things. But they originate as phallic symbols. Freemasons, very perverse. We know this. Okay, hangman. We're gonna see what this word eventually is gonna spell out. But that's just in this little section. You can see why this video is so interesting and why you'd kind of want to watch it for yourself. Let me switch the screens now. I gotta put this to share screen, back to the video, and then boom. Okay, back on the video, right? Yes. Thank you for bearing with me. Let me know if any of these symbols mean anything to you, because I'm trying to catch as many as I can. You're gonna see a lot on duality. So George Bush doesn't look that smart. Okay, he's acting smart. He was kind of dumb, and The biggest thing to me as a conservative is like, how did Bush get away with all this stuff? How come there was no pushback? Okay, so he's pointing up to this evolutionary symbol, evolutionary poster, where man is ascending in his own type of way, right? This is obviously not the biblical understanding of evolution, right? We never evolved from apes. But this is their peak. This is what they're aiming for. Okay, it is a representation of enlightenment, and we've covered it before on previous shows, where we were talking about the gods of the elites and how they see themselves as Roman gods, Egyptian gods, all those same ancient deities, pagan spirits. They were all part of this system. That god in particular that they're looking at is Apollyon, okay, the sun god, and they worship Saturn. We were talking about Saturn before in that episode, because Saturn used to be the sun. Did you know that? Just like Lucifer used to be the light bearer, they say that Saturn was the sun in ancient times. It's very confusing. I don't understand why they do this. I'm trying to pull up an article, so hold on, bear with me again. We're clicking. I got a lot of proofs, but no explanations for you. But 100%, the elite saw the Saturn as the sun. So they worship Saturn, okay? Because to them, that was the light that was taken away. To them, that is a representation of Lucifer. What is this? The god of Saturn also liberated himself from the father Jupiter. Okay, these is like their gods, okay? Remember that the planets are named after their gods in English. Okay, I don't know what Saturn's called in Spanish or Chinese or anything like that, or German, but in English, I know it's the name comes from a Roman god. Okay, I gotta switch back to the video, but I told you, Saturn used to be the sun. It didn't really used to be the sun. Like, that's just what the ancients believed. They're crazy enough to believe it today. Back to the video. Slowly but surely, how long has it been so far? Does any of these symbols make sense? Has anyone ever heard of Apollyon? Apollyon? Pretty sure it's Apollyon, not Apollo. Apollo also did bring in the sun, so maybe it is the same god. Back here in this corner, we see evolution. Okay, but also it's love spelled backwards. Everything in this world is going to be backwards. The house is on fire. We're under attack. Love is not going well. The way we love is definitely not going well. George Bush is going to do a transformation because his time has come. Or it's over with, I guess. See how the alphabet's backwards over here? You missed it, but I don't want to rewind. Okay, the serpent, okay? The serpent and this brain, again, duality, thinking that you are always going to have some type of bad inside of you. And yes, that is true. We are always going to have this type of bad, but we don't want to be attached to this evil. We don't want to be a part of this system that's going to keep us here, stuck to this realm. Okay, we want to ascend to things that are always of God. Okay, this split should never be equal. That's why the serpent's there. F equals F right here. F equals F. And some people say like this is like rock and roll, devil horns. Some people say he's casting a spell, like George Bush casted a spell over the nation or something like that. The Bush family is very powerful. They're very old. They go back way earlier than you think. F equals F. F is the sixth letter of the alphabet. Again, it's all about duality. This is a negative. This equals a negative. Okay. I don't know why they're so obsessed with duality. Maybe Dr. Dan can tell you. Let's see. This is all just within 1 minute, folks. And there's a lot. It's only going to get weirder from here. I promise you that. Please allow me to take a sip of my water. Here comes Obama, because he's after. Okay, see? Obama's a scholar. And I think that's what the trick was. It was like, I'm going to be a successful P-brain so that we can pave the way for this guy who sounds smart, but bro, did he bring so much destruction into this nation? We could talk so much about that. He had one message, okay? The teleprompter. Look at that. That is so vindicative of Obama's presidency, is the teleprompter president. Does anyone remember that? I do. Even as a young kid, I remember him being called the teleprompter president. And he gave these really good speeches, these really moving speeches. What was his mission? What was his one goal? What was his one message? I know it. Now, in hindsight, I believe it's identity politics. That was all started by Barack Obama. He was the one who really brought forth this idea that, gays should be allowed these rights. Not that what is marriage. It's gays are being oppressed. It's not what is let's see, how did Obama I always gotta back it up. How did Obama bring about identity politics? There's gotta be a article somewhere. The Guardian, how America's identity politics went from inclusive to divisive. Yeah, just 100% fact. No, deep down, yes, it is true that Obama did bring about identity politics, and he did it. He made it all seem smart. Everyone thinks Obama's so smart. He is just as guilty. Everyone's so mad at Trump for not doing anything in Israel. All the liberals are so mad at Trump for not doing anything in Israel. Did we not hear about the drone strike president, Barack Obama? Look that up, okay? Have you guys heard this or not? Drone strike president? Okay. There's a lot of symbolism here. She's in a circle, so it's like some type of spell. She's a woman, the young virgin, you're assuming, right? The apple, Garden of Eden, the white rabbit, watch out for, don't follow the white rabbit. We don't follow into curiosity here. We're only studying this so we can see their plans, and it makes it seem less scary. For me, I did find this video when I was in high school, so let's see, that was about, oh my gosh, 10 years ago, and this video came out 11 years ago. I didn't think that I was that much of a trailblazer, but yeah, that could have been the case. I did find this video in high school, I promise you that. And that's crazy. Okay, 8.7 million people. This is a crazy video, guys. I'm realizing this could be Eve, this could be Alice, it could be Mary. Exit Doomsday. The Doomsday clock was in this scene too. It was pointing at midnight. It was stuck at midnight. I don't know if you noticed with George Bush over here. The white rabbit, it's taking us down. Okay, we sometimes we want to follow the white rabbit. It looks fun, looks curious. We think we're trapped in our little worlds here, and we have to find an escape. And every time we go looking for an escape, guess what? The evildoer is going to be right there to give you an escape. It's going to be what you want in that time. But once you get attached to it, once it brings you down, you're not going to want to go down that rabbit hole anymore. You're not going to want to stay in Wonderland, but you'll be trapped in Wonderland. This one just picked my brain right here because this little pose reminds me of this little guy. Maybe it's just me, but every time I see this video, something new comes to mind. Do I spend too much time in the occult? Is that what that means? I don't know. Let's see. What is this? Hold on. I'm sharing my screen. That little guy reminds me. Remember, he had his hands on his cheeks. Let me pull it up for you. Remember this guy, okay? His hands like this. This is what this reminds me of. I'll show you. 1 second. I'm getting pretty quick at this. Where'd you go? You thought it was quick. This guy. Looks like this. We talked about this guy with Zachary King, Aleister Crowley, Freemason. Very weird. This also, look at that star. Star of Raphim. Raphim. I told you, symbolism. They're all the same. You can't escape it. They have to put it out into the cosmos so that we know their plan. That way they don't get immediate ramifications for lying to people at least. At least they're telling us, that's what they think. One eye symbolism right here. Just saw that. What is this reindeer? The reindeer has to mean something too. That's why I need your help. We can move on. Anyway. This red door is scary to me. This apple's about to open again. Duality. L-O... What is that? 07? 27? C7? Who knows? But again, duality, planting a new seed. Obama's getting nervous because he knows time's coming. And then we zoom out the last time we see Obama and we see this little message. Some people say that this says Trump. I don't know how that says Trump. Right there, the MP. I see it as Psalm 23. What is Psalm 23? Obviously, that looks more like Psalm 23. Let's be real. Psalm 23. Psalm 23 is, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the right paths. For his name is my sake. When I first saw Psalm 23, I read it, obviously. And the deeper meaning to me was it's spray painted on the walls in an act of defiance, like Psalm 23. We're the rebels now. We are the ones who have to go out and be counterculture, because the culture has favored socialism, collectivism, globalization, sexualization, immortalization. It's focused on things that fade away very quickly. It's not focused on the eternal. It's only focused on the now. What's next? What's new? What's coming up? We know that in order for Christ to lead us to still waters, we need to let him lead us. So we are going to have to go into that world, okay? There's no escaping this world. And then really rebel with the truth, okay? We are the new rebels. This is the counterculture, okay? This new millennium, this restoration, the spirit of revival that we all feel, it's the counterculture, okay? We're defiant, but with the truth, okay? So how defiant are we really? No, you're the ones who are defying. We are rebelling against you because your way of life has become too popular. Swing the pendulum back to the center. Actually, swing it back all the way to us, and we'll see how the world looks. That's what Christ Christendom is going to sound like. That's why my talk is going to be on restoring a medieval theology. If you haven't signed up for the Men's Conference 2025, it is this Saturday. There will be a live stream for those who donate. We do appreciate your support. The nonprofit is funded by our monthly donors, and it is also funded by the success of these conferences. So please donate to watch the stream. You don't have to watch it live because you will get the recordings, but I will be explaining why the old world medieval theology, this aspect of everyone focused on Christ, everyone focused on their salvation, everyone on the brink of death. Why? Because villages could be sieged. Plagues could be unleashed. You could prick your finger, have it get infected, and then die. Like, that's how close to death the medieval saints were. So we want to bring that mentality back. We want to restore that. And that's why I say we rebel against this culture with truth. Oh, flag's torn in half. That's what I'm talking about. Look, God said he's going to save the world, but he never said he's going to save America. I know this is one nation under God and we're trying to be a Christian nation, but it's even worse when you're a Christian in name and you're not living it out. And oof, it's tough seeing us go down this path when we say one nation under God. It's so beautiful to see all this old Christian history within this church, within this nation, and then seeing the prominence of the church in society like fade away, like even fade out of people's lives. You know, I see all my friends and their grandmas and their parents sometimes are so very, very Catholic. But what happened to the kids? Okay, I know I call them my friends, but trust me, they're not my Catholic friends. But it is something that just fades away, and I wonder why does it fade away? Why don't we ever increase our devotion through the generations? Is it that hard? I don't know. I don't have kids yet. Tell me about it, please. We're going in. Doomsday clock again, pointing at midnight. Escape door. I don't know. We're zooming out. Okay, people. These two towers are gonna fall down, and it's gonna be very reminiscent again of 2001. I almost said 2011, and they go down in a very familiar way. The explosion at the top, that's new. Right there. Anyway, these two pillars could be the World Trade Center, very similar to 2001. I think, though, because this came right after Obama, I think this pillar is marriage, husband and wives. You know, it kind of looks like male and female, and it's being toppled. Because remember, Obama also introduced Prop 8. Or he went around Prop 8, the California Prop 8. My parents voted for it. Remember, we had signs. We campaigned for it. And we won the vote in California to not allow gay marriage. And it was all fine and dandy until Obama came and put out an executive order. You guys remember that. Crazy Catholics remember that. Okay, ancient god. Ooh. You know, the gods of the Gentiles are demons. Can I go full screen like this? No. Sorry, folks. Okay. This little thing, I want to show you on his chest. But this looks like a Hindu or like a native, like a Mesoamerican god. I don't know. And then we're immediately transferred into Egyptian symbolism again, because, you know, ancient gods, ancient enemies, very curious. That is Anubis, you know, god of the underworld, I think, or god of death, according to Egyptians. And you're going to see a figure that you're going to think looks like Christ. Hold on. I thought they were going to show us. Maybe we'll say it's definitely the Antichrist. This figure that's in this film is not Jesus Christ. Let's just point that out before he even shows up on the screen. Okay. Again, it's the music in this. I don't know if you can hear it when I play it, but it's very ominous. It's very depressing. And it's meant to symbolize like destruction. I feel like things are falling apart. Can't you see? Bin Laden here. And terrorism is going to be a part of it. Islam, that's this moon is a symbol of Islam. Bin Laden's wearing a CIA badge because, you know, the CIA creates their own enemies. America creates its own enemies. This is why we're dealing with all this stuff in the Middle East, in Syria, right now. If you follow Syrian Girl on Twitter, you can find all of the Christian persecution that's going on there currently under a regime that was established, or at least was helped established by our own CIA. And the moment they get installed, what do? They murder Christians. What? America, really? What are you doing here? Okay, but yes, we create our own enemies. CIA, if you don't know the dark history about the CIA, oh my gosh, you can Google that one too. Destruction oil. It's a war over oil, apparently. Statue of Liberty. And again, did you know that the Statue of Liberty is on a star fort? What is a star fort? I don't know. But the Statue of Liberty is on one. It's actually pretty cool. I'm pulling it up right now. I know you can't see me typing, but I am. Let me remove this. Stop. Share. Star Fort, Statue of Liberty. Boom. And they say the Statue of Liberty is Lucifer, the light bearer. Why do they say that? Let me show you this. Liberty chained. Boom. It's chained. How can Liberty? Why is the Statue of Liberty chained? I know they're going to come up with some excuse. But it's also because the Statue of Liberty is the light bearer. Let me show you. Lucifer. All right. That's enough, right? It's all just a little too similar. Oof. Look at that one. Lucifer's chained in this one too. I don't know. Just me. Am I crazy? You tell me. I'm going to put the video back on. Bear with me. We're going fast. Yes. Star forts. Look into them. Well, Liberty crumbled pretty quickly. Okay, and this is why I wanted to bring this up, because this is a new revelation to me. I was just thinking about this in my head. I was like, wait a minute. This is I Pet Goat. And you're going to see what I mean. Okay. The fetus, you know, pro-life people are automatically like, oh, hey, I know that. Yes, okay. But, and they say in our current presidency, under our current administration, that the pro-life movement is on the ups. Okay? But is this all part of the plan? Because what is Donald Trump pushing right now? IVF. And we know that this is not good either. Okay? IVF is very destructive because so many babies are fertilized, frozen, and then frozen for all eternity. You know, it could be frozen for all eternity if the mom never chooses to wake them up. I don't know how IVF works, but it's diabolical for sure. And this in the pot, you know, the baby's in the pot. You got the plan here. You got the evil eye watching over it. Is this part of the plan? Is IVF part of the plan? You know, when one hand gives, the other hand takes. Are they giving us abortion just so they could pass off IVF? We need to be careful. Either way, we need to stand up for what's right. We know as Catholics, IVF is not good. If you know you have to look up Janet Smith and Theology of the Body for this one, okay? I'm not going to be able to explain it to you. I'm just here as a reporter, guys, okay? I'm just here to tell you what's what. It's up to you if you want to listen to me. At this point, I'm just a crazy kid on YouTube. But I wanted to show you this. Okay, look at the eye. This one's going to be tough, okay? Okay, A, B. Did you see that right here? Next time, look in this area, and then let me know if you see an A, B. Oh, look at the star right there. Oh, look at the star right there. Boom. On the bottom, it's a portal to the top. Why? Because CERN. Oh, I'm sure we'll bring up CERN in a second. I'm sure they're gonna come up. They're a big part of the plan too. The Mandela effect kind of has to go attributed to CERN. I'll show you why in a second. Okay. Oh, I told you to look over here. Did you do it? Look in this area when the eye comes on. You'll see an A, B next to his eye, right there. A, B, and then C, H, okay? A, B, C, H. What is that? I'll tell you. A, B, C, H. Actually, let me just type in. I'm not. Bum, 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 bum. Maybe this is. Yes, here we go. I got it. I'm keeping you on the edge of your seats by not bringing this up. I wish there was a faster way for me to do this. Invite, stop share, Share screen. I should have downloaded the video maybe. But what is ABCH? Ordo ab chaos. What does that mean? Order out of chaos. Just Freemason symbols. I don't know if this guy was a Freemason. Someone go rewatch the interview really fast with Alex Jones. His last name is Lefebvre, believe it or not. And he was on Alex Jones' show. You can look up iPet Goat Animator interview Alex Jones. Order out of chaos. Okay. Not good. This is a Freemasonic mentality. Again, to them, it's always a means to an end. But we can never, as Catholics, participate in any type of evil, even if it means that good will come out of it. But to them, it's okay. To them, as long as the end result is good and favorable, they're willing to do whatever it takes. It's kind of like Thanos. That's an evil eye for sure. Kind of looks like a serpent. We know serpents are evil. And well, there's a snake around there too. Anubis. I should have done some studies on Anubis. I've been studying a lot of Greek gods and Roman gods recently, but let's go into some hieroglyphs in the future videos. Okay, love. This is not. This is bad. This is the Antichrist figure. Someone who's gonna come in the name of love, right? He has got that all-seeing eye in the middle of his head, and coming out of it is more chaos. This is kind of like the screens. You're gonna see how it's coming out of this little boy's head. And the screens are just taking over his mind, taking his innocence, controlling him. Look at it. The kid is in despair. Why? Too much time on the screens. I'm not living life. He looks a little happy, a little satisfied here. I don't know what that means. You guys want to help me out? It's closed. I'm trying to look up other symbols here. Very scary looking. Oh, there's a pyramid right here. I saw that. That's on the dollar bill. Market plunge. Yeah, okay. You know, kids are too smart nowadays, and they see all the chaos in this world. They're not able to live their life, you know? They got all this information in the head because YouTube is like, how are you enjoying yourself? Okay, bombing the church. Church is going down. War. Is it an attack on Rome? Oh, it's Islam church. You see the moon on the top right there? There's a bridge here. I mean, calamity and war is definitely part of the end game. See, that's how you know it's not. Christ never destroys. He only destroys evil. And sin. Ancient God again. Looks like the same one from the thing. And this right here is crazy to me. Immediately when I saw this is why I first initially was like, okay, there's something going on here. This looks like the Pietà. The Pietà, right? Where Mary is agonizing over the body of Christ after the crucifixion, where he's wrapped and he's like wrapped in clothes. It's a very famous statue by Michelangelo. I'm sure you've heard of it. Pietà. I'm not going to pull it up. But this is reminiscent of that. The Black Madonna. One eye symbolism again. Black. Okay, this is crazy. You can't tell, but his arm is a gun. Okay, cyborg children, robot children, drones maybe. This is all, you can see why this is scary, because 10 years later, it's you're finding a lot more meaning into what this is actually about. Children just bred for war, literally. He's unpackaging him, it almost looks like. Scary. And all of communism, or the communist spirit, at least this revolutionary spirit, where we really think we have the power, but it's drowning us, as it's drowning the workers, it's drowning everything that they believed to be true. This representation of the hammer and the sickle has to be communism. It's gonna fall, okay? It's never meant to withstand anything, even capitalism fall. This is reminiscent of Tiananmen Square. This little girl is gonna come out, and people say that it's Greta Thunberg, because she once wore a shirt with a lion on it. I don't know. She's a peace-fighting girl. They say these are the islands that are in between Finland and Norway. If anyone's from there, let me know if you see that. But they say that this is Greta Thunberg, dancing with the devil. So maybe she started off as an honest cause, but they're definitely using that cause to their advantage. They are always going to never let a, what do they say? Never let any tragedy go unaided, or what? They always use tragedy, chaos. This is why they fearmonger, because they use it to their advantage in order to manipulate us, in order to get what they want. And like when there's a school shooting, they try to push for gun control. This is also scary stuff. He's asleep right now, okay? The Antichrist is asleep, but he's present. He's coming, okay? And all this stuff seems to be prepping the way for him. It's allowing him to be introduced, okay? It's allowing the waters to flow. He's not moving the boat. It's literally the waters that are moving. And I think that, they are ushering in the Antichrist. Okay, remember, that's their plan, at least. Kid again. Oh. It's impossible growing up in this day and age. And, I was thinking about it. Luckily, I know my girlfriend since high school. But dating nowadays would be terrible. You have to date through the screen. You can order food through the screen. You FaceTime people through the screen. I bet you in the future, there's going to be this thing like, whoa, we actually used to see people, and you can actually touch people. Like, yeah, that's coming. This is the Matrix, guys. They're warning us. All right, I'm telling you, Antichrist is coming. He's being woken up. And he's finally in our realm. This is supposed to be a mouth. I don't know. That looks like a uvula to them. Uvula? I don't know. Our words are very precious, maybe? Or... Let's see. There's a star again on his chest. I don't know if anyone sees that. Did it transform yet? Okay. Same character that was dancing earlier in the film now looks a lot different. Okay, but it looks like a Hindu god now. Why? Because it's the same demons, okay? Same demons. Same demon of the deception. It's got this little star thing right here. I want to point that out. The black sun. Also, black sun. Black sun with light. I want to show you this. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Okay. It's again just back to Saturn. They're going to, these are their ancient things. This is why you have to notice these symbols. So when you see them, you're like, what the heck? That little star on their chest, it's Saturn. Saturn is the black sun. Okay, and when it lights, when it is lit, I don't know why this image comes up, but that's what it does. Okay, that's what's on their chest. Black sun. I'm telling you, that is the ancient representation of Lucifer. It is Saturn. This is like suicide, you know? They're suiciding, they're offering up their sacrifices. All the sacrifices are being accepted by the Antichrist. This is the Antichrist being ushered in. Okay, this is another phallic symbol right there. It looks like a man laying down. And the reason why that is, Catholic, maybe Christianity is a part of that. Our infiltration, we know that the St. Gallen Mafia, the Lavender Mafia, you know, the phallic symbol and Freemasonry they go hand in hand, okay? And inside is a witch, perhaps Marina Abramovich. And she's going to try to cast a spell. And she's scared of what's coming. It's too late, you know. Antichrist is coming for you too. Your powers are gone too. You are just a human as much as you thought you were safe in your little tower, okay? Trust me, even the witches that are aiding in this evil are going to be awakened to a rude awakening. They're going to see, you know, she was waiting for him. She was eager almost. Like, when is he coming? Is he coming yet? Is he there? Oh, is it him? Where is he? Where is it? But then when he is here, she's like, wait a minute. Power. And she's trying to shoot her wand out. Yes. Okay. They're counting their days for nothing. Okay. They won't enter paradise. This is the Antichrist coming from the church, maybe the great apostasy. You can tell this little window here reminds me of those windows in the old churches on the East Coast. Dancing again with that little star on their chest. The Antichrist comes from this matrix system. Again, we are being brainwashed. There's so many different images. Why? Because so many things can take us away from Christ. It's so crazy that like the simple life of just maybe living a monk's life or going to the job and then coming home to the family and like supporting yourself, or maybe you only work for 4 hours and like you tend to your own food, you make your own food so you don't have to work as hard. But we need some type of freedom from this world. Okay, we need some type of escape, and it's definitely not through the evil way. It's going to be through Christ. Okay, I think that's what this. Oh, you're not even watching the video. Haha. Sorry. Stop screen. Add screen. Share screen. This is why we need a partner. Let's go back. I didn't get to show you Marina Abramovich. I don't think you saw it, right? Again, this phallic symbol. Can you see it? This is like a leg up. Phallic symbol, Freemasonry. I'm not going to go through all that. You just have to remember what I said. Now you're all seeing it. And again, these witches, they think they have power, but they have no power. Even the Antichrist doesn't let them. He has no power to give them. The only power, the only evil that they do it actually comes from God, or is allowed by God, permissive will. Satan has no power over it. Here comes the Antichrist. Again, in this matrix system, okay, all suits and ties, it's a matrix, guys. That's how we get caught up in the matrix. All these distractions, there's so many different things that take us away. And then he's finally awake, right? And this is leaving, the serpent's leaving the kid because he's done his job. It's already an empty shell, an empty soul. Who knows what this is? The moon symbolism reminds me of Islam. This right here, I could tell you what that is. Hold on. Black sun and Saturn. I'll just tell you, it's a black sun and Saturn. I should just have had these all pulled up so that I didn't have to pull them up every single time. But you'll never know what's going to come up here. Stop screen, add screen. Remember that little cage maze looking thing? That's what this is. Okay, black sun symbolism. When you hear it, you got to be ready for it and know that it's not of God, okay? You got to be ready for it. Switch back the screen to the video. Let me know if you're enjoying this, because to me it's super interesting. This, I think, low-key is the Abrahamic temple, but we'll see. We'll see. That star again, it has the same deity that's dancing, but it has a different appearance now. Looks like a different god from a different part of the world. And we all know, okay, it's transforming again. It's the same demons, guys. Moloch, Baal, they're all the ones who have duped society, who have deceived the society. And then the Antichrist finally enters our world. You think it's all sunshine and rainbows. He wakes up, but then the church falls. I don't know. Does it look like it's falling? Yeah, there it goes. Okay, we know this is not true. They think Satan can win. I don't think so. It's all about, even if the Catholic Church, which is the Rome and Vatican in the Pope, even if it appears to fall, it is the spirit of the believers that create the mystical body of Christ anyway. It's about the church within inside you, okay? How is your interior church? Are we even prepared for that conversation, to deal with our interior lives? I know that the medieval saints and the medieval church spent their entire lives dealing with an examination of conscience. Why? Memento mori wasn't just an idea to them. It was something that was real. They were on the brink of death 24/7. There were whole communities dedicated to the individual increase of salvation, okay? So as much as the community was a part of it, it was all about your individual salvation. If you weren't participating hard enough, if you weren't sacrificing hard enough, if you were not atoning hard enough, the community would judge you, okay? This is why it's popular. And that's why being counterculture was going against that community. But now that the community is all corrupted and all twisted, and there's so many things that are going to bring us down, like this video shows us. Did you guys enjoy the video? It's over, by the way. Pyramids. I don't know. Let's see what's a good one to put on. I mean, there's so many things that are going to take us away. We need is her sorrow, not Jesus's sorrow. Believe it or not, we focus on her sorrows too. As the mother of God, she has 7 sorrows. You see how we can evangelize just with anything and everything? This is why I love the church. It is so true. It is so filled with so much knowledge that we can see these evils and explain them away. And just say, like, that's just the evil ones doing their thing, leave them alone over there. Because why? We're worried about our own individual salvation. Hopefully you're worried about your individual salvation too, and you want to grow in the faith, and hopefully I have something to offer you to grow in that faith, because I will be speaking at the 2025 Virgin Most Powerful Radio Catholic Men's Conference at the historic Sacred Heart Chapel. The building is 100 years old. If you're coming just to see that, I would appreciate that too. But when you are in the halls of the historic Sacred Heart Chapel, you know that you are joining thousands of saints who have kneeled in those very pews, who have walked those very floors, and have participated in the sacrifice of that very altar, which is pushed up against the wall, so it's not looking like a table. It's an actual altar. We will be joined by Esteban Covarrubias, as well as Jesse Romero. You guys, where did my tab go? I'm trying to scroll down to the schedule so you can see some talk titles. Okay, my first talk will be on reclaiming the theology of the Crusaders. And then my second talk will be on creating modern day Crusaders for Christ's kingdom. And it's all about restoring the kingdom of Christ. Did you know that we were so close to having Christendom, at least in Europe, but now we have so many gifts that came from that little ounce of, that little bit of it. And it's gone throughout the entire eternity. So much fruits have come from that time, where before they called it the Dark Ages, right? But this is a time where Christendom reigned. Christ was the forefront of a lot of the people's lives, and you were shamed for not believing in God. Believe it or not, you were called crazy for not believing instead of being called crazy for believing. Let's dive into that time. Let's discover what was going on around that time, and hopefully we can learn something and bring it to this modern day and age and restore what was lost. Again, it is everything that was slipped away. It's up to us to bring it back. Hopefully you can join us on Saturday via live stream or in person at the historic Sacred Heart Chapel. And don't forget, if you are free Friday, then you can also join us at Virgin Most Powerful Radio's raffle night dinner the day before the conference. So Friday night is the dinner for the conference. Friday night is the dinner for the network, Virgin Most Powerful Radio, and we'll be having a conference hosted by the network the day after. Friday is a dinner raffle fundraiser. Join us for some good food and some prizes. Everyone will have a chance to win. Well, maybe not everyone will have a chance to win. Everyone will have a chance, not everyone will win. But we got a lot of great stuff. Travel kit was donated by Carmen Allard. Shout out to her. A lot of cool stuff. Hopefully you can join us here at the Virgin Most Powerful Radio. Thank you for joining me on this crazy video, right? Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you can show this to all your crazy friends, and you can all do a deep dive yourself and try to interpret it, and give me your notes, okay? Because like I said, I don't watch it too often, I'm not that weird, but it is something that I like to return to, because like I said, the IVF thing, I was like, maybe it is IVF in that video. At least there are some red flags that we should be paying attention to, some things that they were warning us about, at least that the presidents were being controlled, don't forget, by those evil puppet hands. Forgot about that one. Bush, Obama, they also switched from the same person, so they're part of the same entity. No matter if you're voting right or left, it's going to be bad. America's going to fall. That's what the video said. I'm just letting you know. All right. Thank you for joining us here on Theological Thunderous Thursdays. This is Anthony Acosta. Thank you for joining me on this solo show. And then we will see you next week, where we will do a recap of the Creating Catholic Crusader Conference, and maybe present to you some of the talks, some of the information from the talks, and share with you how that all went down at the conference. So join us Saturday, and you won't have to tune in Thursday. All right. God love you. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Christ built that church, that Catholic Church, in 33 AD. God love you. Thank you for your support. Hallelujah.